best podcast, the Heidelcast.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's greatest heroes, created from the cosmic legends of the universe.
Scott McDermott.
I was bit by a black widow in Hamul in my sleep.
Harrison Perkins.
Every muscle in my body is clenching right now.
And
Scott Clark.
You know, I would like to get to know a tarantula.
their mission to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Super Friends.
Good morning, Vietnam!
We'll do it live. No, we'll do it live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Did I ever tell you the story about the two camels that walk into a bar? Heard. How about the guy that walks into a bar with a monkey around his neck? Heard that too. That one was funny though. No, it wasn't.
Good morning, men. How are you?
Walker, Texas Ranger. I recognized it immediately when you played it.
Yeah, now he recognized it. It's because
That makes two of us.
the first attempt at this show exploded on the launch pad, so the surprise is all gone. Yeah, so like I said, it's hard to find a clip where they're just talking. Usually they're hitting people, so which is maybe fine to watch, but it doesn't make for very good radio. What's happening?
How are you guys?
Hey, Dr. Clark's supposed to ask that question.
I know, but you did, and I was just circling back to it.
Yeah. I'm okay. And the last 10 days of life has been extremely busy. We were putting the library study studio together, and we carried about, something near 3,000 books. We don't know exactly.
The Labrudio.
That's funny. My son-in-law calculates that I have 2,700 books in here. So
It looks great.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's a beautiful background.
Yeah.
Great shelves, nice books.
We're very happy with it. The door is not in, so we'll see how this goes because there's no door on this room right now. The dog has been fed and should be quiet. The front door has been silenced. The back door has been silenced. So we'll see how it all goes.
I can't even tell that there's no door,
Well, you can't see it.
but it sounds like there's a door.
It sounds like there's a door.
Well, the acoustics in the room are now pretty good, so I'm happy about that. We weren't sure exactly how that would all go. We're using the books for the sound treatment. And the room is built specifically for this purpose. It's built to be quiet. So anyway, we're excited about that. But still have things to do. As we're talking in a couple of days, a couple of fellows are going to come over and work on the windows. They have to put the trim around the windows. And then I think on Saturday, a fellow comes to install the door. We ordered a door, waited 8 weeks for it, and then it turned out it was the wrong door. Or at least, yeah, basically. I mean, it's the same door. It just was in the wrong box. So now a carpenter's going to make a new box for it and install it. So they say, and we have to put on different hinges, but that's fine. That should be okay. The boss wants the door to open into the study and not into the dining room. So that's how it's got to go.
That makes sense.
No, that makes sense. Doors are supposed to open inward so that you can keep your body weight against it to keep intruders from like just yanking it open.
Oh, I never thought of that.
What?
That's why all of our doors open into the room.
Oh, interesting.
So that the person on the outside can't just yank it open and you can keep your force against it so that they can't just burst in.
Are you making that up?
No. I mean, this is at least what I believe to be true.
Okay, so you are making it up. I mean, this is what
You sounded pretty sure of yourself when you first said that.
I have heard this from an external source that I cannot recall, and this is what I have believed to be the truth for a very long time. So I am not making it up on the spot.
So this information is extra nos.
I think that this is real.
So this is something that you could have been told when you were 7 or 8 by another idiot 7 or 8 year old.
You just kept believing it.
you just assumed.
But think about it. I mean,
the external source was that kid's mom.
when you were 7.
It could be. It seems like it's more recent than that. But I
Okay.
mean, that's why we have like chains on the doors and all those things. I mean,
Well, I mean,
there's a rationale to it.
it's kind of interesting. It's an interesting theory, and it could be true. It has a certain degree of plausibility. But
Someone will confirm this. This has to be true. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. This was like a basic thing I knew about doors.
But this is a foundational truth in your life. So if it is discovered to be false, then your whole existence might crumble.
Doors usually open inward primarily for security, safety, and practical reasons. The hinges are located inside the house, which prevents burglars from easily removing the door by messing with the hinges from outside. Inward opening doors also offer better protection against weather elements like wind, rain, and snow, reducing wear and keeping the house insulated. Moreover, inward doors allow easier and safer entry and exit, such as stepping back to open the door during emergencies without obstructing pathways or hitting someone outside.
And where are you getting this, Scott? From where?
It is what they call artificial intelligence.
Oh, all right.
An application.
Do some people call that AI?
Yes, some do. But I don't want people to get confused with that terrible movie from the early 2000s called AI.
From where is AI harvesting this information? Is it from the pedia known as Wiki?
From the World Wide Web.
So I will say, I was just with my friend, Danny Ollinger, last week.
Oh, yeah.
And he knows everything. And I'm convinced that every question I put in Google, Danny's just there answering it.
Danny has nothing else to do.
I said this to him. I mean, I'm sure he has lots to do, but he comes out with like, oh yeah, that chess match from the 60s and this thing about the OPC from our foundation to now to everything, like everything about baseball, like everything.
I was just going to ask the most important thing. Does he know who won the game last night? I mean, come on.
I'm sure he does.
That's what matters.
As we are recording, who played whom last night?
There were 2 football games to which I'm referring to, but there were also 2 baseball games.
Okay, yes.
Which
I know the Tigers got beat on Friday.
All right. But
yes,
all I know.
yes, they did. Yeah, there are 2 Monday Night Football games every week now for some reason. And you can't watch one and then watch the other. You have to choose one or like flip to one back and forth.
I did see that, and I heard some guys complaining about it on a podcast or radio show that I was listening to via podcast.
Well, they used to have a West Coast game and an East Coast game, but now they're doing just 2 games at the same time.
Oh, okay. Who won last night?
The Falcons beat the Bills.
Oh, wow.
And the score made it look close, but it was not close. They dominated the Bills.
It seems like an upset.
It was upsetting for Bills fans. And Chicago Bears beat the Washington Redskins. That's right, I said it. The Washington Redskins. I don't even know what their actual name is this year.
Commanders.
So I'm just calling them. Yeah, okay.
You're gonna get.
Well, my uncle played for the Washington Redskins.
Oh, well, all right. Then that's a historical reference. You're going to get us in trouble.
Yeah, that'll be the thing that gets us in trouble.
We could be.
You know what my favorite baseball team is? The Cleveland Indians.
You mean the Guardians?
Cleveland Indians.
Oh. So you don't follow the Guardians.
He doesn't like them anymore.
He doesn't like them anymore.
You know, they named the Cleveland Indians after one of their players who was Native American.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Do you know who that player was?
I don't remember his name, but they were the Cleveland Spiders, and they had a player on their team who was Native American, and he was a good player, and so they renamed the team.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. My impression is that the Native American groups, otherwise known as the Indian tribes in this country, are in general not offended by the Washington Redskins or the Cleveland Indians. That this is something that offends people who are not part of the tribes, not native.
Right. Particularly white skins.
Yeah.
Are offended by it.
Yeah, that's my impression.
That's what the polls say.
Really? Yeah. So anyway. So what's new? You know what's new with me, right? It's just been all library all the time lately.
I got to spend last weekend with our good friends, Pat and Mike Abendroth, speaking at the Pactum conference. Great experience. Loved it. Shout out to those guys and to Chris Larson. Had to follow him, so that's never intimidating. And Michael Beck, a Kleinian guy from New Zealand who is now a good friend. It was a great experience. Loved it. Really good. And they gave me lots of cool stuff.
Lots of swag.
Swag?
Look at this water thing.
Yeah. Pat has cool swag.
He has cool stuff.
Yeah, there's Scott's 3/4 empty plastic water bottle with all the microplastics in it.
Swag. I got it from the Myers.
You got swag from the Myers. That's a supermarket chain, listener, in case you're not familiar.
Pat showed me the seat where you sit when you attend worship at OBC.
But in the back, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I've seen it. Your chair.
Yeah. Does anybody else ever sit there? I wonder if it's just empty all year until we come back.
I think somebody was there this time, but there were a lot of people there. I mean, there were like almost 600 people there.
Wow. That's great.
Wow. I think it's the biggest audience to which I've ever spoken. And that was unnerving.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, no. Those are people who are very happy to hear you, and they want you to do well. So this is not a hostile crowd.
I know they want me to, and that was my fears that I wouldn't.
No, I'm sure you did fine. I'm looking forward to seeing the videos and hearing the audio and all of that. It'll be great. That's a great congregation. I really, really like those people. They've always been very kind to me, and Pat's always very encouraging, and he always manages, whenever we're there, he always manages to have a baptism. He wants me to sit in the front row. He wants me to be in the splash zone, but where we sit in the back, trying to stay out of people's way, be as unobtrusive as possible.
You sit in the anxious bench in the back?
Yeah. Well, no, the anxious bench would be up front. So,
you sit in the avoidance bench in the back.
Yeah, that's right. It's I sit in the very relaxed bench way in the back, but no, the anxious bench, when you come up for the altar call, then the anxious bench is the first bench right below the pulpit. That's where the anxious bench is. Yeah.
Is this temple worship, or what do you mean?
Well, that's what they called it. They called it the altar call when you sing "Just As I Am" 23 times or whatever it is you're singing. And then
that's so strange, because when I think of altar, I think of like Levitical priests. I don't know.
Well, yeah, it is an interesting, I mean, it's a metaphor. It's not literally the case.
I'm not sure that Charles Finney had his regulative principle in order, to be honest. So
that would be,
there could be some inconsistencies.
Yes, exactly.
In the theology going on there.
Yeah, that was just one of the problems of Finney's theology.
Maybe.
Somebody recently on social media expressed surprise that anyone would be, in fact, I think twice I had to post Mike Horton's ModRef article on Charles Finney. So when you guys were students, did you have to do a little synopsis or reaction paper to Finney's revival lectures? Was that still a thing when you were students?
Finney's systematic theology.
I had to read it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I had to do a paper.
I think I remember writing about it, yeah.
When Bob Godfrey taught that course, we all had to do reaction papers to some of the readings, maybe all of them, I don't remember. But the one that I remember most was writing a reaction paper to Finney's revival lectures that we had to read. And
there he is.
Yeah,
there he is.
Well, there's the systematic theology.
He's not creepy at all.
I don't know where the pictures of Finney are really, truly frightening. He's a bizarre looking dude. Yeah. So we had to read the revival lectures, or at least portions thereof, and write a reaction paper. And I think what I suspect is that Mike turned that into that now fairly well-known essay, basically surveying the Reformed criticisms of Finney's theology, piety, and practice. So, listener, if you're not familiar, Charles Finney was a major figure in the Second Great Awakening. He was a Pelagian, that is, he denied the biblical, Reformed, Augustinian view of sin and grace. He thought that by using the right methods, and so the Dutch called them Methodists, by using the right methods that we could convert people, and he developed a system that he believed was kind of a machine, that if you just ran the machine properly, then people would be converted. And part of that was the altar call. So typically, I don't know exactly what Finney did. I don't remember anymore. But typically, first you sing them, as I say. You get people all hot and sweaty, and then you preach them.
Yikes.
And that bipartite service that is so popular in so many evangelical congregations, and tragically in too many P&R congregations today, comes from not from Geneva, Heidelberg, or Edinburgh, or London. It comes from Charles Finney, where people sing for 30 minutes and then the minister preaches that 2-part service. And that's basically the revivalist liturgy that a lot of churches have adopted. And I'm sure they don't know that's where it comes from, but that is whence it comes. So, what's new with you, Scott?
I honestly don't know. I couldn't even tell you. I have no idea what's going on.
Okay.
I was just thinking about altars. Somebody asked me why we don't have an altar call at our church.
Do they really?
And I said, because we don't have an altar.
Yeah, very good.
I said, that's the first reason. And then I said, well, what the thing up front? And I said, that's called a table.
Yeah. That's interesting. So they asked you why you don't.
They were shocked.
Yeah. You know what? Here's some. Next time this comes up, you can say what Bob Godfrey said to me, that the Lord's table is the Reformed altar call, right? That's where, and there's a historical reason for saying that it was in part the absence of ministers and the absence of communion at the end of the service that arguably led to the development of the altar call. So, and I described that a little bit in a now antique book entitled Recovering the Reformed Confession. I'm just summarizing the work of other people. I'm not doing any original scholarship there, but.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Super Friends.
Man, speaking of books by R. Scott Clark.
What?
Yeah.
I know there is a brand new one, and it is sitting right here in my hands. R. Scott Clark, the Heidelberg Catechism, a historical, theological, and pastoral commentary. And this, although the cover is going to say Lexham Academic, this is a Baker Books product. Yeah. And it is set to release on November 12th. And we want to talk about it.
This book, in my opinion, is monumental.
Generation defining.
Invaluable.
A full banquet with all the courses.
A ready guide for every church and family.
Serves all who wish to travel the path of Reformed confessors.
Speaking of Reformed confessors, Dr. R. Scott Clark is here with us today.
He's our special guest.
Nice.
He is the author of this tome.
Yeah. The show's suddenly been hijacked, so I'm on the hot seat.
You're in the hot seat for once.
Yeah.
My, how the turntables.
Is that how that works? Is that the expression?
That's an office joke.
Yeah, okay.
And eventually you'll get those.
Okay, but when I watch it.
I love inside jokes.
I
hope to be a part of one someday.
I hope to be part of one.
Yeah. So it's out. Well, it's not out yet. Some of us have it in our hands. The publisher is sending it to people for reviews and promotion and stuff. But this episode is being released on November 1, which means that am I right to say 11 days from now, as the listener is hearing this?
Less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, it will be available. You can get it. Yeah, the link of the Heidelblog is to the Baker Books site. And so the easiest way to get it, you can get it through Amazon too. But the easiest way to get it will be either to go to Amazon or heidelblog.net. It's on the publications page. It's on the bottom of every post. So our tech whiz, Megan, has gone through and with her technical wizardry added this link to all the posts where we have resources at the bottom of the post. How she did that, I don't know. Alchemy, I think. That's my theory.
Speaking of alchemy, there is gold on the cover of this great book. And you need to get it.
That is gold, isn't it?
What's the relationship? You'll have to explain the relationship between gold.
Alchemy is turning lead into gold.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right.
You need to take that class that we took at seminary.
See, I didn't have that class.
What was that class? Modern
I just think
mind?
of it as magic and chemistry. I think of it as sort of magical chemistry, alchemy.
Yeah, it's how to turn lead into gold.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it came out well. Mine's a little dusty actually because of all the construction already.
So, but we want to talk about this book.
Yeah.
And one of the big things, I think. So what is this book? Tell it first. Let's just start. What is it?
It's a commentary on the Heidelberg Catechism.
And so how does that work?
I have to put that down. I'm make sure it doesn't fall over. It's really heavy. I carried 4 of them while we were moving books, and I thought, holy mackerel, that's a good workout for 4 of these things.
Listeners should know this is over 1,000 pages.
It's an explanation of what the Heidelberg Catechism says, where it said it, when it said it, why it said it, why it said what it said, and what it means, what some of the implications are for theology, piety, and practice. Because on this podcast, we talk about practice.
talk about practice.
We talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
I've got a list of questions to work through here, and hopefully we can get some of this in here to help the listeners know why this is such a valuable resource that they should seek to get and use.
Yeah, don't be a loser, listener. Get the book.
So one of the things, would you expect readers to read this straight through, or what kind of book is this?
I intended it to be a reference work. I didn't intend it. I mean, you could sit down and read through it. I mean, that would be if you're
some people did that.
Some people did that. Yes,
some people on this show did that.
Yes, all the way through to find all of the errors, of which there were many. They were myriad. So you could do that, and it's readable. It's not overly technical. There's technical stuff in the footnotes, but the text itself is intended to be accessible and readable.
It has a very human tone. It's like Dr. Clark is speaking.
I appreciate that.
Even if they're reading it straight through, you'd probably think, well, the best way to do this is to read one Lord's Day section at a time, one question at a time.
Yeah, I think that's
more
right.
with a devotional rhythm rather than I'm going to read 25 chapters.
Well, yeah, I think that's right. So that you could work through this in the course of a year or so, right? And that would be manageable. You do one Lord's Day a week or something like that. I intended it to be a resource for people who are teaching the Heidelberg Catechism, people who are reading the Heidelberg Catechism, people who are preaching from the Heidelberg Catechism, as we do in our churches in the evening. The church order basically requires our ministers to give an explanation of the Heidelberg Catechism. So I'm, for people who are teaching catechism classes, people who are teaching, religion classes or theology classes or Bible classes in schools. And so, as I say, Sunday school teachers, seminary students, college students, elders, laity. It's for a whole range of people. So it could be used for a variety of purposes.
Dr. Clark, maybe tell us what the Heidelberg Catechism is. We hope listeners are familiar to some degree, but what is this Heidelberg Catechism? How did it come about? Who wrote it?
The Heidelberg Catechism is a collection of 129 questions and answers, and it's a basic explanation of the Christian faith, is what it is. And it came about because there was a district of the empire, the Holy Roman Empire, and the elector, the governor of that district, had become reformed. And about the time, or shortly after he became elector, but about the same time, and he found a religiously confused electorate or district. They had been Roman Catholic, and then they had been broadly Lutheran, and now they're Reformed under the church-state organization that they had in that time in Germany in the 16th century. Your religion was whatever the elector's was. And so people were confused. One morning they were Lutheran, and the next morning they were Reformed, and they didn't know what that was. So he said to his theologians, and he assigned one of them in particular, apparently, we don't know exactly, for utter certainty, who did what, but most of the catechism was written by one writer, one theologian, Zacharias Ursinus, who later gave a series of lectures, more or less based on the catechism, a little loosely based on the catechism. He doesn't actually, people just assume he goes through every question and answer. He doesn't actually do that. But he wrote most of it, and then others contributed. And together, they formed what became the Heidelberg Catechism, because that's where they were in Heidelberg, Germany. in the district known as the Palatinate.
I know the listeners are probably thinking, when did the second edition of the Heidelberg Catechism release?
Well, it was in 1562, and the final edition is dated 1563, and that's the one that we use, is the third edition, the final edition of the Catechism. And it came out in German, and it was quickly translated into Dutch. That was, I think, the second translation, and it was, I think the first translation was probably into Latin. So and it was widely used across Europe and the British Isles, and it was translated into English as well. But it was used in schools all across Europe. It was used in churches all across Europe and even in the British Isles. And to the New World, it was brought over by the Dutch Reformed in the 18th century. It was probably here before then, but they used it. The old Dutch Reformed Church, which is today the RCA, the Reformed Church in America, about 1710. The German Reformed used it. They were formed about 1714. So it's been in this country for a long time, been used by millions and millions of people. It's been translated into dozens, if not hundreds of languages. One of our graduates actually translated it into modern Hebrew a few years ago. So it's available in most every language group.
Call or text now, 760-618-1563.
So one of the things it sounded like you were saying earlier was that there's a long history, at least beginning with Ursinus, of commenting on the Heidelberg Catechism.
Yeah.
Writing explanations of it. Zacharias Ursinus did that in the classroom. So tell us a little bit about that phenomenon and how did this commenting tradition develop over the centuries? Why are you doing one now?
Well, there are a lot of commentaries, and of course we think of Ursinus. It's titled a commentary, at least in English. The Latin title is actually Compendium Doctrinae. So it wasn't actually, strictly speaking, a commentary. And as it turns out, modern scholarship suggests that what we have as in English, the commentary, is actually a composite work, that it's not all directly from Ursinus. There were later editors who did things, added things, corrected things, and that sort of source critical work isn't usually reflected in our English translations, and it's not always easy to figure out who's doing what in Latin. So he did lecture on the Catechism. His students took notes, and I think he had a hand in the production or formation of the Catechism lectures. We call the commentary to some degree. At any rate, lots of others have commented over the centuries on the Catechism. It was the practice of Reformed ministers to preach from the Catechism or use the Catechism as a guide to their afternoon or second or evening service, evening sermon. And so lots and lots of those have been published over the centuries. We have them in different languages. So today in English, we have a number of collections of sermons on the Heidelberg Catechism, and those are useful. Fred Closter did a commentary. I don't know exactly when it was published, but it was published by the CRC in the 1980s or so. And one of the reasons I did this was because I had hoped that Dr. Closter would do something more like what I did. And I mean, what he did was good and useful, but there was a whole lot of material that he had in a syllabus, a course syllabus, that it didn't seem to me had made it into the commentary. And I suspect some editor said, nobody will read this, so don't put that stuff in there. I don't know what happened. But there haven't been a lot of historical commentaries, so there are pastoral commentaries that, are homiletic in character, are popular in character, but nobody had tried to do a sort of detailed reference work in a sense. And so that's what I tried to do with this.
Yeah, I really appreciated your standard Clarkian style, historical, theological. The style that you normally write with was there, but there is a tone that was very pastoral. And it reminded me of when you preach and you're very down to earth and you just speak to us. And that is the tone that I see in this book. And I would use it as I'm preaching through the Heidelberg Catechism for our catechetical service. I would use it in family worship. And I think it's especially helpful for guys like us who are, maybe a little nerdy, but that's okay, like in a good way, to use it as a daily devotional as we go, or a weekly devotional, whatever it may be. In the Westminster Standards, it talks about how the Lord's Day, you keep it holy by worshiping God publicly and privately. And something you can do as a family together, maybe between services, is go through this book. So I think there's a lot of options that you can do with it, and I'm looking forward to using it.
Well, I appreciate that. It started out as just a series of articles on the Heidel blog. That's how it actually came to life. That was doing exactly that, just doing a popular explanation, trying to alert people to the existence of the catechism and trying to interest them in it. That was the goal, to try to get people to read the catechism. And at a certain point, I realized, this is turning into something. I started probably in 2007 or 2008, something like that, writing on the catechism. And it just kept growing and growing. And then I thought, I should probably do this a little more seriously. And so I tried to write a little more carefully. And then when I pulled it all together, and actually the first time I sent it to the publisher, it came back and I looked at it and I realized, well, this is just what, everybody else does. And it's not that much different from what's already out there. And then I thought I need to make this a little more serious and beef it up. So that's how it came to be the big fat volume that it is. But so you're right to...
Oh, it's beefed. Yeah, you beefed it.
You're right to detect, though, that the original sort of core of the catechism is intended to be accessible and popular and pastoral. I really intended that.
So 15 to 17 years is what you're talking about. That's how long this project took you, from the beginning till...
20.
Yeah, that's right.
But then I'm just not very good at math.
No, I think 17 is the starting. Yeah. 17, 18.
They said there would be no math on this podcast.
And yet here we are.
So, so I was at it for a long time. And I want to thank the publishers, because they were very, very patient with me, because I totally blew the deadline by several years. And they gave me a space to try to do it the right way. So I'm very grateful, because that does not always happen.
This book really is, in a lot of ways, it seems going to be your magnum opus. It's a real achievement. This is not throwaway.
No, don't throw this book. Yeah. That would be really bad. Unless you lift weights regularly, don't throw this book, because you will hurt yourself.
Well, it's not even something that you read once and then you're done with it and you hand it on. Like, this is something that you should have on hand for a long, long time. And it will be useful, repeatedly as you need to refresh yourself about things in the catechism, background, thoughts on it, theological significance. This is a lasting contribution. Yeah. I cannot imagine seeing a book on the Heidelberg Catechism come out in my lifetime that matches what you've done here.
It's a tour de force.
Yeah, well, I hope it's useful. To be perfectly frank, one of the things that makes me nervous about talking about it is that I worked on it for so long. I don't even remember everything that's in it. And when people ask me questions about it, I panic a little bit inside, because I know what I think and I have some idea of what I wrote, but I need to go look at it to see what's actually in there. So one of the reasons I write is because it sort of functions as an external memory, sort of a printed hard drive. So there is a lot of stuff in there, and this, man. You say things in sermons, and then people come back to you 6 months later and say, in such and such a sermon, you said X, and you think, well, I like that, but I'll have to go back and look at my notes. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds smart, so I probably said it.
And Harrison knows this too.
So one of the things that I thought as I was reading it, though, is because I got the privilege of working through a pre-published version of this, a draft that you
privilege, he says,
sent,
privilege in quotation marks. Yes.
No, it was great. I found it quite an honor to get to work through this and offer feedback. You were gracious to accept that and let me do that. But, one of the things with other books on the Heidelberg Catechism, and even, coming from a tradition with the Westminster Standards at work, we have a couple of books out there now that seem beefy, substantive, that get behind some of the historical debates going on at the Westminster Assembly to help us process some of the significance. And as I've read, other books on the three forms of unity, it doesn't seem like there's something that's quite as deep. A lot of it is, like what you've said, published sermons, devotional reflections, which are great and help people, bring it to bear on their lives and, have it stored up in their hearts to love Jesus more. But, as a pastor, if I were to need something on hand to help me understand this document not so that I know those applications, but so that I can prepare that for people, well, I haven't found that. And this book is that. This tells you what was going on in the history, what are the debates, what is the theological significance of some of the statements, how have people made sense of this over time, and point you directions about what we're doing with it in life today. So this is a tremendous resource that gets at a lot of details and a lot of depth that's missing in some other great books, but just books that don't do this. This is a one-stop shop for getting right there into the weeds of the Heidelberg Catechism and understanding it better. So preachers need this. Students of the Heidelberg Catechism need this. People need this. It will help you, and it will help your soul. And if you have papers that fly away easily, it will help you in that regard too.
Great gift also with the holidays coming up.
So with this book in your hand, you've done it, it's published. Like, what do you hope this book achieves? What's your sense of, just seeing it out in the world?
Well, I mean, you know this from having published many books. It's, first of all, it's a great relief that it actually exists. There are a lot of things that could happen between the time that you hit send, go, and it comes into the world. So that's one sense I have. I'm hopeful that it will be useful. And I'm excited, I guess, about the possibility that people will, discover the Heidelberg, discover the Reformed Confession, and for those who already believe these things, that it will deepen their understanding and, give them an opportunity to grow in the Lord. I'm hopeful that it will be a tool to that end.
Well, the HRA is proud of you. Your friends are proud of you. Your listeners are proud of you. And Scott McDermott is proud of you. Thanks for your great work.
Thanks for listening. Tune in tomorrow for more from the Heidelcast, brought to you by Heidelberg Reformation Association.org. Don't forget, when the coin in the coffer clinks, the cost of bandwidth shrinks. Copyright Heidelberg Reformation Association. All rights reserved. This is a Heidel Media production.
The best podcast, the Heidelcast.